Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Orlando Valido, Oli Valido, or Pimpoli, as they call me here on YouTube. Tonight they're going to bring you another contribution artist, and this one is one of my favorite, of my nephew too. This guy is a legend, yeah, real legend. Let me start with it's 6:35 p.m. We have 77 degrees here in Miami, Florida, and today is April 10. Okay, here we'll start with the first picture of this guy, the second picture, and his name is Merle Haggard. Yeah, Merle Haggard, and I'm going to read for you his autobiography completely in just a minute. Okay, here we go. Merle Haggard. Merle Haggard, April 6, 1937 to April 6, 2016, was an American country music singer, songwriter, guitarist, and fiddle player. Yeah. Haggard overcome the troubled childhood and a criminal conviction and time in prison to launch a successful country music career. He gained popularity with his song about the working class. This occasionally contained themes contrary to the anti-Vietnam War sentiment, and some of the popular music of this time between 1960 and 1980. Haggard had 38 number one hits on the U.S. country charts, several of which also made the Billboard All January single charts. He continued to release successful albums into the 2000s. Haggard has received many honor awards, including the Kentucky Center Honor in 2010 and the Grammy Life Achievement Award in 2006, BMI Icon Award 2006, and the introduction to the Nashville Songwriter Hall of Fame in 1977, Contribution Hall of Fame in 1994, and Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame in 1997. He died of pneumonia or pneumonia on April 6, 2016, at the age of 79 years old, a birthday, at his ranch in Santa County, California. Santa will be Shasta County, California. Okay, here we go with early life. Haggard was born in Halldale, California, and the son of Flossie May Harp, HAARP, 1902-1984, and James Francis Haggard, 1899 to 1946, who in 1934 had to move to California after the farm, CHECOTHH, Oklahoma, burned down. Okay, they settled with their two older children, James Lowell, 1922-1996, and Lillian is in an apartment in Bakersfield, California, where James started working for the Santa Fe railroad system. Oh wow, Santa Fe. A woman who had owned a boxcar nearby Odell, California, asked Haggard further about the possibility of converting into a house. Yeah, a bath car that they converted into a house. Amazing. He remodeled the bath car and expanded the bath car as soon after the move in, also purchasing that lot where Merle Haggard was born on April 6, 1937. Guys, Merle Haggard was born in a bath car with a river. Amazing. In 1946, Haggard died of a brain hemorrhage. 9-year-old Merle was deeply affected by the loss of his father and remained pivotal event to him for the rest of his life. To support the family, Haggard's mother took a job as a bookkeeper. Older brother Lowe gave his guitar to Merle Haggard when he was 12 years old and started himself to play with the record that he had at home, influenced by Willis, Lefty Freestyle, and Hank Williams. While his mother was at work, Haggard started getting into that trouble. She sent him to a juvenile detention center for the weekend, but his behavior worsened at the time. Well, by the age of 13 years old, Haggard was still riding bicycle. In 1950, he was caught shoplifting and sent to a juvenile detention center. The following year, he ran away to Texas with a friend Bob Teague, Teague. The two rode a freight train and hitchhiked throughout the state, where they returned later that year. They were accused of robbery and sent to jail. They were released when the real robber was found. Merle was sent to a juvenile center, detention center, later that year, from which he had his friend escaped and headed to Modesto, California. They worked as a potato truck driver, shoulder ordered and cook, honey fisher, oil wall shooter. During that time, he made his musical debut performing with Tigers, Teaue, his friend, in a Modesto bar named Fun Center, for which he was paid $5, only $5, and giving him a free beer. That's all they got. In 1951, Haggard returned to Bakersfield, California, where he was arrested once again for truancy, Truancy, and pretty Lancy, and sent to a juvenile detention center. After another escape, he was sent to a high-security prison school of industry. He was released after 15 months later, but he was sent back after beating a local boy during a burglary attempt. He is released and he integrated Tauee saw Lefty Freestyle in concert at that time, and the two sat backstage where Haggard began to sing along. Hearing the young man from the stage first insisted Mr. Haggard came to a stage and sang. It was well received by the audience and decided to pursue a career in music at that time. At that night, he would sing and play in a local bar while working as a farmhand on the oil field during the day. Yeah, that's the way you do it. In 1956, Haggard got married, but he was a plug, P-L-E-U-E-D, financial, with financial issues. In 1957, he tried to rob a Bakersfield warehouse, but was caught and convicted and sent to Bakersfield jail. One more time, after he escaped, he attempted he was transferred to San Quentin prison, San Quentin, on February 21, 1958. There he was a prisoner number A 35-200. While the prison hunger learned that his wife was expecting another man, child which stressed him psychologically and was fired from a series of prison jobs and planned to escape along with another inmate nicknamed Robert James Kendrick. He was dishonored by fellow inmates. That would be DISSUADE, by fellow inmates. Unbelievable, this story, guys. San Quentin prison is in San Francisco on the Bay Area. It's pretty far away from the mainland too. By the way, I know about this story, some other story about San Quentin. While in San Quentin, Haggard started gambling, and brewing racket with his cellmate. After he was caught drinking, spent a week in a solitary confinement jail where he encountered Carly Chessman, Carlechessman, and the author of the Death Row email. The author of the Death Row email. You believe that? Meanwhile, Robert had successfully escaped only to uh, shoot by the police and return to San Quentin again for execution. Chapman, Pennington, yeah, Chapman, Pennington, that would be Predicament, along with the executioners of Robert, inspired Haggard to change his life. He earned a high school equivalency diploma and kept a steady job in prison as a testicle, DESTILE plant. He also played for the prison of the country music band that had started. In 1960, he attended a Johnny Cash in concert at the prison where he cast sang Flossom Prison Blue. They have found a profound influence on Merle Haggard, who had opened his release in 1960. He set out to forge FOIGE career as a singer and songwriter. In 1972, after Haggard had become country music star, then California Governor Ronald Reagan, my favorite president of all time. He will go with early career upon the release of San Quentin Jail in 1960. Haggard started digging in this for his brother electrical contracting company. Soon he was performing again. Later he began to recording with Tally Records Inc. The Bakersfield sound was developing in the area as a reaction against the overproduced Nashville sound. Haggard's first record for Tally was Singing My Heart Out, Singing My Heart Out, backed by Skid Row, SKID Road, and was a national suffer. The only sold 200 copies were pressed in 1962. Haggard would outperforming the Wayne Stewart WYNN tour show in Las Vegas, Nevada. Heard the Wayne sing that song. He asked for permission to record it, resulting in the single was a national hit in 1964. The following year, he had his first national top 10 recorded with My Friend Are Gonna Be Strangers, written by Liz Anderson, mother of the country singer Lynn Anderson. His career was off and running. Haggard recalled having been tagged to visiting Anderson, a woman that he did not know, after his house at her house to hear her sing some of the songs had written, that she had written. If there was anything that I didn't want to do, it was to sit around some of the dance woman, DANGED, house and listen to her cute little song. But when I went away, she was a pleasant enough lady, pretty, with a nice smile. But it was all set to be bored to death, even more so when she got out of the whole bunch of songs and went over on the old palm organ. Yeah. And the word, my God, one hit right after another. There must have been 4 or 5 number one songs there. Okay. Again, there must have been 4 or 5 number one songs there. You believe that? Very interesting. In 1967, Haggard recorded I Am Lonesome Fugitive with the Strangers, also written by Liz Anderson with her husband Casey Anderson, which became his first number one single when Anderson presented it the song to Haggard, they were unaware of his pushing tracks. Bonnie owned Haggard backup singer and then wife and quoted by music journalist Daniel Cooper. The line is noted to the 1994 retrospective down every road. I guess he didn't realize how much the spirit at the St. Quentin did to him, 'cause he never talked about it that much. I could tell you he was a dark mood, and I said, "Is everything okay?" And he said, "I'm really scared," and I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because I'm afraid someday I'm gonna be out there, and there were going to be some prisoner in there at the same time. I was stand up, and they're gonna be about the third row down," and said, "What do you think are you going to do or be doing of a number 45 to 100?" Cooper noted that the news had a little effect on Haggard's career. It's unclear when or where Merle Haggard first acknowledged to the public that his personal songs were rooted in a personal history, for he credited it doesn't seem to have made some of the big splash announcement. In May 1967, profile of Music City News, his personal record never been mentioned, but in July of 1968, at the very same publication, he spoken as he were common knowledge into this. As a common knowledge, you believe that? In 1967 album Branded Man with The Stranger Kickoff technically and commercially successful run by Haggard. In 2013, Haggard biographer David Cadwell stated the immediate successor to I Am Lonesome Fugitive Branded Man in 1967. In 1968, See Me Back Home. See Me Back Home, and the Legend of the Bunny and Cloud, CLA, no CLYDE, were among the finest albums of the respective years. Haggard's new recording showcase his band of the strangest specifically Roy Nichols, Telecaster Ralph Money, steel guitar, and the harmony of vocal provided by Bonnie Owner. At the first Haggard first stop, then hit My Friend Are Gonna Be Strangers, in 1965. Owner, who had been married to book owner, was also known as solo performer and fixture of the Bakersfield Club scene, someone who had appeared on television. She won the new Academy of Country Music at that time, as the first ever for a female vocally as after her in 1965. A debut album, Don't Take Advantage of Me, hit the top 5 on the country album chart. However, Bonnie On had no further hit single after she recorded 6 solo albums on Capitol Records between 1965 and 1970. She became mainly known for her background harmony or Haggard hit such as Sing Me Back Home, Sing Me Back Home, and Brother Man. Producer Ken Nelson took the hand off of a push to produce Haggard in the episode American Master, dedicated to him. Haggard remembered the producer at that time. Cole Nelson was an exception to the rule. He called me Mr. Haggard. I was a little 24 and 25-year-old punk from Odell, California. He gave me a complete responsibility, and I think he jumped and said, "Oh, you can't do that. It will be destroy me." In a documentary series, Lost Highway, Nelson recalled when they first started recording Merle, I became enamored with his singing that I would forget what else was going on. And suddenly I realized, wait a minute, there is a musician here you got to worry about. But his song was greater than the writer. Interesting. Toward the end of the decade, Haggard composed several number one hits, including Mama Tried, The Legend of Bonnie and Clyde, Hungry Eyes, and Send Me Back Home. Daniel Cooper called Send Me Back Home as a ballad of work on so many different levels on the sounded defied for every attempt to analyze it. In 1977 interview with the Billboard with Bob Obank, Haggard reflected even to the crime was brutal and the guy was incredible. INCORRINGBLE criminal. A feeling you never forget when you see someone you know and made that last walk. They bring him to the yard. And there was a guard in front of the behind. That's how you know a death prisoner. There was a death prisoner. They brought Robbie out, taking him to see the father. Prior to his execution, there was a strong picture that was left in my mind. In 1969, Haggard's first tribute to LP Same Train, Different Time, a tribute to Jimmy Rogers, who was also released to acclaim. In 1969, Rolling Stone reviewed for Haggard and The Stranger. In 1968, at the album Mama Tried, Andy Wickerman wrote his son romanticized the hardship and the tragedy of Americans transcend Burglariania. There will be L-E-T-A-I-I-N, and his success to the Sultan, or the Sultan, for his ability to relate to his audience and commonplace experience with precisely the right emotional pitch. Merle Haggard looked a part of the sound of the part because he had a part that he was great. Okay, let's go here with Okie from the Monkey on the fighting side of me. 1969, Haggard and the stranger released Okie from Mercury, Muskoee, with a lyric ostensibly reflecting the single pride in being from the middle of America, where people are conventionally patriotic and traditional conservative. American President Richard Nixon wrote an appreciated letter to Haggard upon his hearing of the song that would go on to invite Haggard to perform at the White House several times. In the enduring years, Haggard gave varying statements regarding what he intended the song as a humorous satire of the serious political statement in support of the conservative values. In 2001 interview, Haggard called the song documentation of the undereducated that lived in America at that time. However, he made several other statements suggesting that he meant the song seriously on the Bob Edwards show, and he said, I wrote it when he was recently got out of the joint. After reading recently got out of the joint, okay? And I knew I was like to lose my freedom. I was getting ready mad at this protester. They didn't know anything more about the war in Vietnam than I did. And I saw how many my dad, who was from Oklahoma, who had felt, and I knew they didn't know anything more. How the boys fighting in Vietnam felt. In a country with a music documentary series Last Highway, elaborated by Dad passed away when I was 9 years old. I didn't know if you were even true about somebody you lost, and you say, I wonder what so and so would think about this. I was driven into Interstate 40 and I saw a sign said 19 miles to Mercury, Muskoee. That's why he wrote it. While at the same time listening to a radio show of The World Tomorrow, hosted by Gunner Ted Armstrong. Mercury was over referred to in my childhood. In other words, Muskoee was offered also referred to his childhood back home. So I saw the sign and my whole childhood flashed into my eyes. I thought I wondered what Dad would think about it, at the useful, at the useful operation was occurring at that time. Jenny Joplin, I understood him. I got along with it, but what if I was to come alive at this moment? I asked her I was to describe the kind of people in America still sitting in the center of the country saying, what going on, campus? What going on, campus? It was a subject to his Ghana that Armstrong radio program, and a week or so later, I was listening to Ghana that Armstrong was saying how small, smaller colleges in smaller towns doesn't seem to have a problem. And I wonder if Muskoe, Muskoee, had a college and didn't have any trouble or no racial problem at all, and some dope problem, too. The whole thing hit me in 2 minutes, and I did one line after another, and I got the whole thing done in 20 minutes. In America, master documentary of him, he said, that's how I got into with a hippie. I thought they were unqualified. They were unqualified, of course. And to judge America, I thought they were looking down to their noses as something that I cherish very much. And it pissed me off. This pissed me off. And I said, you son of bitches, you've never been restricted away from this great, wonderful country. And yeah, here I in the street bitching about saying and protesting about the war that they didn't know any more about it than I did. They were over fighting the war anymore than I was. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, Merle Haggard knew more about the Vietnam War than any of these college students at university. And it always happened. It always happened with college and university. They don't really understand. To understand something like this, you need to be there. You need to be on boot on the ground. That's what they mean. There is a different uh, protesting about something that you don't know about than being there. That's a different thing. Two different things for sure. I guess to protest something, you really have to be there, experience it for yourself, and then you can protest about it. That's what I think. Haggard began performing song in concert in 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard began the sound of in concert, 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard began the sound of in concert, 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard began the sound of in concert, 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard began the sound of in concert, 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard began the sound of in concert, 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard began the sound of in concert, 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard began the sound of in concert, 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard began the sound of in concert, 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard began the sound of in concert, 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard began the sound of in concert, 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard began the sound of in concert, 1969, astounded in the reaction received. Merle Haggard be and the Haggard camp knew they were on something. Everywhere they went, every show, Oki and did more than pump, and she started insistently. Applause. The water and this unanticipated adoption, violation, ADULANTION, racing through the crowd, now standing ovation, and went and on sometime left the audience and the band member alike, Terry I. Merle Haggard had somehow stumbled upon a song expressed previously in Haggard, that would be INCHOATE. Fear spoke out loud, grip energy otherwise widespread. Now people were using his song, were using him to connect themselves to those larger concerns to one another. Very interesting. The studio version, which was moreover unusually raucous, RAUCOUS, live concert version topped the countryside in 1969 and remained for 8 months there. Also hit number 41 on the Billboard All January single chart and becoming the biggest hit to that time, surpassed only by 1973 crossover Christmas hit If We Make It to December. If We Make It to December, which peaked at number 28, Oki from Mogui, also generally described as Haggard's signature song. On the next single, The Fighting Side of Me, released by record company in 1970 over Haggard's objection, Haggard lyrically stated that he did not mind to counter culture, switching sides and standing up for what they believe, but we solidly declare if you don't love it, leave it. Yeah, if you don't love it, leave it. In May 1970, Haggard explained to John Gibson of Rolling Stone, I don't like their view of life and their faith, the visible self, disrespect. And I know they don't give a shit of what they look like or what they smell like. What do they have to offer to humanity? In 2003 interview with No Depression magazine, Haggard said, I had a different view in the 1970s. As a human being, I learned more and I have more culture now. I was dumb on the rock. I was dumb as a rock when I wrote the Oki from Mercury. That being honest with you at the moment. And a lot of things that I said then, saying with a different intention now. My view of marijuana have to be totally changed. I think with the brainwash And I think anybody that doesn't know, they need to get up and read and look around, get their own information, competitive government project to make us think that marijuana to be outlaw. To be outlaw, yeah. Which is I sometimes I think he's right. It shouldn't be outlaw. After the fighting side of me was released, instead of having lady commented to Wall Street Journal, people narrow-minded down south that they might have to call me Negro lover. Yeah. In 2001 interview, Haggard stated Nelson, who was head of the country division at the Capitol Records at that time, never intended to hate music, but this one time, he come out and said, "No, I don't believe the world is ready for this yet." And he might have been right all along. I might have been out, canceled out, where I was headed into my career. Oki from Mercury was a fighting side of me, or one day they think of me, or what they think of him. Haggard in 1973 song about American POW in Vietnam were held as an anthem as a silent majority. I have been recognized as a part of the recruiting patriotic trend in American country music and also include Charlie Daniel and American Lee Greenwood, God bless the U.S., all to Gordon Faison, Fiiesen, of Bullseye magazine, criticized Haggard for his young voice type. Song against the world December. Haggard was popular with the college students in the early 1970s, not only because of the ironic use of the song by counterculture members, but also because his music was recognized as the coming of the early country folk tradition. Both Oki from Mogi and the time fighting side of my side received an extensive play on the ground radio station. Oki was performed in the concert by the protectors of the single Auto, AROLGUTHRIE, and Phil Osh, that would be PHILOCHS. Oh, what a story. I have a mixed feeling here. Artists should never get involved into politics or anything like that. It's a bad idea. Sometimes it's a bad idea, sometimes it's good. It all depends. Lady Korea Haggard in 1970 offered a tribute to the best damn fiddle player in the world dedicated to vowels. about Willis helped spark a permanent revival and expanded the audience for the Western swing. By this point, Haggard was one of the most famous country singers of the world, having enjoyed immensely successful artistic and commercial run with a Capitol record, accumulating 24 number one hit country singles since 1966. In 1972, let me tell you about a song of the first TV special starring Haggard, was nationally syndicated by Capital City TV production of a semi-autographical musical profile of Haggard, Merle Haggard, acting the contemporary behind the music, produced and directed by Michael Davis. The 1973 reception album, it will make it to the December for the Haggard status of a champion on the working class. It will make it to December turned out to be Haggard and the Strangers, the final crossover pop hit. Haggard appeared on the cover of Time magazine on May 2, 1974. He also wrote and performed the same song to the television series Moving On, which was a 1975, gave him The Stranger and another number one hit, country hit, during the early to mid 1970s. Haggard and The Stranger countryside domination continued with the song such Someday We'll Look Back. Grandma Heart, yeah, Grandma Heart, HARP, always waiting for you. Always waiting you, yeah. On the root of migration. Between 1973 and 1976, he and the stranger scored 9 consecutive number one country hits. In 1977, he switched from MCA record and began exploring themes of depression and alcoholism. He became to be an alcoholic. And he made Ace and the album serving 190 proof the way I am. Okay, Haggard sang a duo cover with Billy Burnett. What a little love between friends. With Linda Carter for her 1980 television music special, Linda Carter, Encore. In 1980, Haggard headlined the Bronco Billy soundtrack along Running Mishap, which saw Haggard score a number one hit with the Ballroom Buddies. Buddies, yeah. Buddies. I do with actor Clint Eastwood, which is one of my favorite actors too, Clint Eastwood. Haggard appeared in an episode of The Western titled The Comeback, Season 5, Episode 3 original, aired on October 10, 1976. He played the bandolier named Red, who had been depressed since the death of his son, Ron Howard. In 1981, Haggard published An autobiography sent to me back home. That same year, he provided a narration to the theme of the movie, The Legend of the Lone Ranger, which is the Lone Ranger what got me started acting too. That's why I like it. The movie did not perform well as expected, attributing to the commercial failure to whether or more dispute with generally negative publicity. Haggard also changed a record label in 1981, moving to EPIC and releasing his most critical acclaimed album Beach City, in which he was backed by the Strangers. Between 1981 and 1995, Haggard scored 12 more top country hits, which is 9 of them reaching at number one, including my favorite memory, Going Where the Lonely Go. Yeah, Going Where the Lonely Go. Someday we'll sing out good on the national high. In addition, Haggard has recorded two chart-topping duets with George Jones, Yesterday and Wine, 1982, and Willie Nelson, Pastor and Lefty, 1983. Nelson believed in 1983 Academy Award winning film Tender Mercy about the fictional singer Max Led, Soedee, who was based on the life of Merle Haggard. Actor Robert Duvall and other filmmakers denied this acclaim, as the character was based on nobody particular. Duvall, however, said he was a big fan of Merle Haggard. In 1983, Haggard and his third wife, Leona Williams, divorced after 5 stormy years of marriage, and the split served as a lesson to party for Haggard, who spent much of the next decade becoming mired in alcohol and drug problems. Haggard has stated that it was his own mind-life crisis or a male menopause. Yeah, male menopause too. We do too. Just like women do. Only thing is it's a little different. Maybe you feel a little bit of heat and something like that in your body, or your heart, or your heart rate go a little faster, something like that. Around this time, he said in an interview from this period of time, saying that you enjoy for years doesn't seem nearly as important anymore, and you are at war with yourself as to what's happening. Why don't like that anymore? Why do I like this now? And finally, I think you actually got through this biological change. You just become another. Your body getting ready to die, and your mind doesn't agree. He was briefly a heavy user of cocaine, but was able to quit. Despite the issue, he won the Grammy Award for the best male country vocal performer for his 1984 remake, That's the Way Love Goes. Yeah, man. When you get older, everything's changed. You're not the same man anymore. When you go to male menopause, menopause, everything changed too. Just like a woman do. But nobody like to talk about this. No man like to talk about that. Haggard was hampered by financial war into the 1990s, and he was in charge the manager for a favor of the new country singer such as Just Stray, Randy Travis. Her last number one hit was Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Star from the Smash album Cheer Factor 1988. In 1989, Haggard recorded a song, Me and the Crippled Soldier Gave a Damn, as a response to the Supreme Court decision not allowing banning flag burning, considering it to be speech. Therefore, protected under the First Amendment, after the CBS record Nashville, Tennessee, avoiding releasing that about the situation. I had never been a guy that I can do what people told me. It always been my nature to fight the system. To fight the system. Yeah, I believe the system is very, very strong sometimes, and sometimes don't. It depends on the decade that you are in. Come back in 2000, Haggard made a comeback solo singing with independent record label anti-releasing Spare. I could only fly to a critical acclaim. Follow the 2001 with the Root Volume 1 collection left the first half Hug William and Hug Thompson. And Hug Thompson covered along with the Haggard original, and the album recorded Haggard leaving the room with no overdub featuring Haggard longtime bandmate training as well as first original uh, lead guitarist Norma Stevens. In December of 2004, Haggard spoke at the Let Larry King Live about incarceration as a young man, and he said it was a hell and scary experience of my life. I bet it was. I bet it was. When a political opponent was attacking the check for criticizing President George W. Bush in 2003 invasion to Iraq, Haggard spoke up for the ban only on July 25th, 2003, saying, here we go with the saying, I don't even know that this is Czech, but I find an insult for all the men and women who fought that died in the past war. For almost a majority of Americans jumped down the throat for voting on the opinion that was like a rubber witch, witch hunt. Wow, this is pretty heavy. Haggard and the Stranger number one hit, Mama Try, a feature in Brian Bertino's training with live Taylor. In addition, the Stranger song Swinging Door can be heard on the film Crash during 2004, and in 1981, his Big City were backed by Strangers who heard Joe and Ethan Cohen from Pago or Pago. In October 2005, Haggard released album Chicago Wind to mostly positive reviews, and they contain an anti-Iraq war titled American First, in which he lamented at the nation's economy and faltering infrastructure and applauded his soldiers. And saying, let's get out of Iraq and get back to the track. And the following from 2003 release, Haggard like never before, in which it includes a song that the new Haggard released a bluegrass album, give me for that, the bluegrass session on October 2, 2007. Yeah. It seems to me here that the history is repeating, repeat over and over again. We need to break that change. I see it coming again. I hope not. In 2008, Haggard was going to perform a Riverfest in Little Rock, Arkansas, but the concert was canceled because he was aligning at the three concert were canceled as well. However, he was back on the road in June and successfully completed the tour at the end of October 19, 2008. In April 2010, Haggard released a new album, I Am What I Am, the strong review of the performance of the title song. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno in February of 2011, Haggard's final concert was held in Oklahoma Paramount Theater on February 13, 2016. Collaboration, here we go with that. Haggard collaborated with many other artists over the course of his career. In early 1960, Haggard recorded a duo with Bonnie Owner, who later became his wife, for Tally Records, and scoring a minor hit with Just Between the Two of Us. As a part of the deal with the release of Haggard's first duo with Owner and the Strangers. In 1966, also entire Just Between the Two of Us, and the album reached the number 4 on the country side, and Haggard and Owner recorded a number of additional duos before their divorce. In 1978, Haggard went on to record a duo with Josh John, with another Clint Eastwood, among others. In 1972, Haggard agreed to produce Graham Parsons' first solo album, but back at the last minute, Warner Brothers arranged a meeting with Haggard in Bakersfield, California, home of the two musicians seemed to hit off but later in the afternoon of the first session, Haggard canceled the passion, and enormous Haggard fan was caught with his wife, Kristen, telling Major, Merle is not producing Graham, was probably one of the greatest disappointments in Graham's life. Merle was very nice, very sweet, but he had his own enemy and his own demon. In the 1980, Haggard said a person in an interview with Mark Rose, he was a pussy. He was just a long-haired kid. I thought he was a good writer. He was not a wild too. That's funny to me. All these guys running around in a long hair talking about being wild, Rolling Stone. I don't think someone abusing themselves or drug entertainment or how wild they are. I might determine how ignorant they are. They are ignorant. That's what he said. Then in 1982, Haggard recorded a taste of Yesterday Wine with George Jones, George Jones, and all produced by two of the top hits, including the number one hit, Yesterday Wine. In 2006, the pair released a sequel, Kicking Out Footlight Again. Again, kicking the footlight again. Haggard released a new album, Pancho y Lefty with the Willie Nelson in 1983, with the title track becoming an enormous hit for the duo in 1987, and second last to suffer LP She Horses. They're all Mexico. Yeah, again, She Horses of all Mexico was also released as the pair worked together again with Ray Price in 2007, releasing that album at the last of the breath, the last of the breath, B-R-E-E-D. And in 2015, they released their next sixth and final duo album, Durango and Jimmy, D-J-A-N-G-O and Jimmy. The album led single, It's All Going to Pot. While it's suitable as a reference to smoking marijuana at the music video for the song Show Haggard and Nelson smoking a joint while singing in the recording studio. How about that? Okay, in 1983, Haggard got permission from EPIC Record to collaborate with wife Leona Williams on Polydor, P-O-L-I-D-O-R record, releasing Heart to Heart in 1983, an album which they were backed by the Stranger was not a hit and picked at number 44 by them. In 2001, Haggard released an album gospel song with Albert E. Brumley, B-R-U-M-L-E-Y, called Two Old Friends. In 2002, Haggard collaborated with longtime friend and fellow recording artist Chester Smith, founder of the television broadcasting company Shiny Panda, SAINTE, partner 2, be an owner of several stations in California, Oregon, with a CD titled California, California Blend. The CD features a classic country western gospel track performed by both Smith and Haggard. In 2005, Haggard was featured as the guest vocalist of Christian Wisdom, Uredchen Wisdom, some politically incorrect, which earned a Grammy nomination for the best country collaboration with vocal. He also featured singing a verse of Eric Church in 2006 song Pledge Allegiance to Hank, to the Hank, okay, H-A-G. In 2005, Haggard was featured on the guest vocalist Blaine Lassen song. Lassen is a Larsen song, and Merle Haggard was singing my song. In 2010, Haggard was featured and along with Ralph Nader, Nader, Willie Nelson, Gatewood, Galbraith, and Julia Butterfly, a hero documentary film. 2015, Haggard was featured as a guest vocalist on Don Henry, a song, The Cost of Living. The Cost of Living, which is very high right now. On the album Cat Country, Henry was there after he said he was nervous but happily surprised that Haggard joined him on the track. In 2017, Haggard appeared alongside Willie Nelson in the award-winning documentary American EPIC session directed by Bernard McCollum. This is hard for me. MACMAHON to perform the song Haggard had composed for the film The Only Man Wider Than Me. Good title of the movie too. And Bob Willis' classic Old-Fashioned Love, which they recorded live on Restored first electrical sound recording system from the 1920s. It was a live film performer as a pair with Rolling Stone commentating. In the final performance session, Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard performed the duo, The Only Man Wider Than Me. Haggard had looked at complete joy on his face throughout the session in the old-timey recording setup once used by his musical heroes. Haggard's last recording song called Con River Blue described his departure from Bakersfield in the late 1970s and his displeasure with politicians, and the song was recorded on February 9, 2016, and February featured his own son, band on guitar, and the record was released on May 12, 2016. It will go with the equipment. Haggard endorsed Fender guitar has a custom artist signature model, Telecaster, and the guitar modified Telecaster, tan line with a illuminated type of figure made and set neck with deep cave heel, bird's eye, Merle fingerboard with a 22 jumbo pet, FRETS, envoy, pick guard, binding goal, hover, abandon, that would be ABALONE, tough dog, tele, peg head, inlay, two color, sunbrush, finish, and a pair of Fender Testa Special telesingle coil pickup with a custom wire four-way pickup switching. He also played six-string acoustic model in 2001. CF Martin Company introduced a limited edition of Merle Haggard signature edition of 00-28S MH acoustic guitar available with or without factory installed electronic. Very interesting. Personal life, here we go with that. Haggard was married 5 times, first to Lorena Hubby from 1956 to 1964, and they have 4 children, Dana, Mary, Kelly, and Joel. Shortly after divorcing Hub in 1965, he married singer Bonnie Honor, a former wife of Buck Honor. Haggard credited her with helping him make his big break as a country artist. He shared writing credit with Honor for the hit "Today I Started Loving You Again," and acknowledged, including on the stage, that the song was about a sudden burst of the special feeling he experienced for the while were touring together. She also helped care for Haggard's children from his first marriage and was the maid of honor for Haggard's third marriage. Haggard had Honor divorced in 1978, but remains good friends as Honor continued as his backing vocal until her death, give me for that, in 2006. In 1978, Haggard married Leona Williams. In 1983, they divorced. In 1985, Haggard married David Parrott, Parret. They divorced in 1991. He had married his first wife, Teresa Ann Lane, on September 11, 1993. They had 2 children, Jennifer and Ben. Okay, here we go with cigarette and drug. Haggard said that he started smoking marijuana in 1978 when he was 41 years old. He admitted in 1983 he bought $2,000 worth of cocaine and partied for 5 months afterward. When he said he finally realized the condition to quit for good. He quit smoking cigarettes in 1991 and stopped smoking marijuana in 1995. However, Rolling Stone magazine, in an interview in 2009, indicated that he had resumed regular marijuana smoking at that time. Illness and death. Here we go with that. Haggard on the one, angioplasty, Angioplasty, in 1995 to unplug side artery. Wow. On November 9, 2008, it was announced that he had been diagnosed with lung cancer. He may undergone surgery on November 3rd, doing that, which a part of his lung was removed. Well, that's what happens when you smoke. You get lung cancer and you die of it. Yeah, that's why I don't smoke. Old drink, no way. Haggard returned home on November 8th, less than 2 months after his cancer surgery. He played two shows on January 2003 or 2009 in Bakersfield, California, a book owner, Crystal Palace, and continued to tour and record until shortly before his death. Well, people don't smoke, don't drink, because at the end you're going to pay for it. That's for sure. Don't do it, please don't. On December 5th, 2015, Haggard was treated under the closed hospital in California for pneumonia. He made a recovery but postponed several concerts. In March of 2016, Haggard was once again hospitalized in a concert for April were canceled due to ongoing double pneumonia. On the morning of April 6, 2016, his 79th birthday, he died of complications from pneumonia. At his home in Palo Cedro, Santa Country. That would be PALOCEDRO, Santa, SHASTA County. And that was in California. Haggard was buried in a private funeral at his ranch on April 9, 2016. Longtime fan Mary Stewart officiated this information, I guess. Legacy and honor. During his long concert, Haggard received numerous awards from the Academy of Contribution, Music Association, National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences, Grammy Award, C Award. He was introduced into the Nashville Songwriter Hall of Fame in 1977 and the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum in 1994 and the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame in 1997. In 2006, he received a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. He was honored as a BMI icon at the 54th annual BMI Pop Award at the same year during his songwriting career up to that time. Haggard earned 48 BMI Country Award and 9 BMI Pop Award and 8 BMI EIB Award system BMI Millionaire Award from the catalog of the song added it up to over 25 million performers. Haggard accepted the Kennedy Honor on December 4, 2010 from John F. Kennedy Center of the Performing Arts and recognition of his life achievement outstanding contribution to American culture. And the following day he was honored in the gala in Washington, D.C. with musical performance by Chris Griffithson, Willie Nelson, Jerry Carl, Banquio, Jamie Johnson, Kid Rock, Miranda Lambert, Bart Presley, distributed featured December 28, 2010, CBS telecast of the Kennedy Center Honor. In July 2007, 3.5 mile stretch of 7 Standard Road, Odell, California, where Haggard grew up, was renamed Merle Haggard Drive in his honor, and the stretch from the Chester Avenue to west to the U.S. Route 99, provided closer to the William M. Thomas Airport at the Middlefield Airport. Haggard will play a tour show to raise money to pay for the changing of the road signage. In 2015, he converted a boat car, B-O-S car, in which the Haggard family lived in Oradell, California, and will move to Kern County Museum for the history, preservation, and restoration at that time. Remember, guys, he used to live in a bus car or the train back when he was young. Yeah, what a story, right? On November 6, 2013, the mayor of the Winchester, Virginia, awarded Haggard with the key of the city to the battle line city after a sold-out show by Bonnie Blue concert. On July 14, 2013, California State University Bakersfield awarded honorary degree Doctor and Fine Art. Haggard stepped to the podium and said, "Thank you, it's nice to be noticed." On January 26, 2014, Haggard performed his 1969 Okie from Moguri at the 56th Annual Grammy Award, along with Chris Griffithson, Willie Nelson, and Blake Stetson. And 2023 Rolling Stone ranked Merle Haggard at the number 138 on the list of 2,000 greatest singers of all time. It will go with influence. Haggard, guitar player and voice, gave his country song a hard edge of blues-like style, and many caught out to he was outspoken like his dislike for modern country music. He praised George Strait, Toby Keith, Alan Jackson, Sugar System, again I say this, Stureill. Symptom. Haggard also had an interest in jazz music, started in an interview in 1986 that he wanted to be remembered as the greatest jazz guitar player in the world and loved to play country kid single. Haggard has a major influence on his career. Another by the article published by the Washington Post opened the Haggard that of respect for the Haggard and the Haggard has icon for both for his music style and personal view. And a common theme of the country music, many country music I'd have paid a tribute to Merle Haggard, mentioning him of the song. In fact, added by his first name rhythm with a girl common theme in a country song. These include Colin Ray recorded My Kind of Girl, which include the line about some music she said, have you got any? You got any? More that when I knew she was my kind of girl. In 2000, Alan Jackson just Strait sang Murder Music Road, which is criticized the mainstream country trend that Hag will have a stand today on radio because they committed murder on their own music road. In 2005, the country rock duo Booking Dune sang just another neon night of the Hillbilly Deluxe album. The song Ronnie Dune said he got the Eastwood, Green and Tulare, Tullare, Swagger, Hollying, yeah, Holllein, and turn off the rap and play me some Haggard. Broken down also uh, weapon Haggard. In 1993, Rock My World, Little Country Girl, of the hardworking man, album, keep me for that. And they sing at the live Madonna, but also listen to Merle Haggard, Rock World, Little Country Girl. In 2009, Jimmy Buffett song Wind referred to Haggard and his song Silver Wing. In the verse, you have wing, look and see a silver wing like Mel, Lee and Rhyme mention him on the whole 2013 song. I do now. Thank God for Mohaga. He right at the battle let me down. Christian Wisdom, Grethen Wisdom, some political incorrect and every short song plays a legend to the hang. Both a content tribute to Haggard as well as featuring him as a guest vocalist. Country singer David Neal reference a reference to the Haggard song Mama's Pride in the lyrics to his song The Sound of the Million Dream from his 2011 album of the same name. When I hear Mama's Pride, I still break down and cry and pull over the side of the road, and the song was written by Philip Vassar, Vassar. E-Scooter, I have to spell this one, Carusore. In the Johnson Anderson song, Honky Tonk Saturday Night, he sings the line, I went to the jukebox and played some of the Merle Haggard, oh me and with the think he got it alright. Cody Johnson criticized Merle Haggard's song Money Money Merle with a reference of the chorus and turn up mystery. Again, here we are again, Money Money Merle. Cody Jake's song Hippie and the Cowboy and the following lyrics some of the old drunk at about two of Merle Haggard during that my kind of room. In 1970, several rock actors responded to their own song to Haggard criticism of the hippie country culture and the Okie from Okie and the fighting side of me. The young blood answered Okie from the Okie with hippie from Olema, which is one repetition of the chorus and the changing of the line, will still take in the stranger and the rag. R-I-G-G-E-D, to which is still stranger and the hugger. Nick Gravity, a big brother at the holding company, pay Haggard took key initiating a tribute with the song I Change Your Flat Tire Merle. This is good. I Change Your Flat Tire Merle. Like covered by another artist, including Pure Perry Lee. Despite this credit, Grateful Dead performed Mama Try over 300 times and See Me Back Home approximately 40 times. Southern Rock, Lynyrd, Skynyrd, almost the time, was respectfully referring to Haggard's song, Well Song, which contains lyrics, Where I am, right at this time, Lord until I find out what Jimmy Rogers and the Haggard was all about. Skynyrd also performed both a cover of Honky Tonk Nighttime Man, Nighttime Man, and their own take on the song with Jacksonville Kid found in 2001 CD reissue of the album On the album Street Survivor, he described himself as a student music, philosophy, and communication. He would discuss jazz man. However, Robert guitar playing live after his death, a unique speaking and technical Grana Ted Armstrong and the world tomorrow with enthusiasm, ENTHUSIASM, with authority. Okay, here we go with television acting. Merle appeared on the season 5 of the episode The Watson and called the comeback. He played the red toner on the local musician who had become depressed and withdrawn after his death on his son, and played by Ron Howard in an episode called The Gift, The Gift, Gift, The Gift. Okay, and now that we are ending this, they go with the graphic, all the studio album that he did through the years. 1965, just between the two of us, we were Bonnie Owner and The Stranger 1966, Swinging Door with The Stranger 1966, I Am Lonesome Fugitive with The Stranger 1967, Bond of the Man with The Stranger 1967, See Me Back Home with The Stranger 1968. Yeah, 1968. The Legend of Bonnie Clyde, Clyde, with The Stranger 1968. Mama Dry with The Stranger 1968. Fly Where I Am with The Stranger 1969. Okay, over 1969. Hold on a minute, guys. I just pressed it along the wrong button here. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, here we continue with this. Some train a different time with The Stranger in 1969. A portrait of Merle Haggard with The Stranger in 1969. A tribute to best damn fiddle player in the world. Oh, my salute to Bob Willis. That was in 1970. Hang with The Stranger. Someday we'll look back with The Stranger in 1971. Let me tell you about the song with The Stranger in 1972. It's not love, but it's not bad with The Stranger in 1972. Merle Haggard, Christmas present, something old, something new, 1973. Okay. If we make it to December with The Stranger in 1974, Merle Haggard presents his 30th album with The Stranger in 1974. Keep moving on with The Stranger in 1975. It's all the movie with The Stranger 1976. My Love Affair with Train with The Stranger 1976. The Root of My Racing with The Stranger 1976. Rumbling Fever 1977. Working Man Can Get Nowhere Today with The Stranger 1977. My farewell to Elvis 1977. I'm always a mountain when I fall, 1978. 7, 190 proof, 1979. The way I am, 1980. Back to the ballroom, ballroom, back to the ballroom, 1980. The song Mama Tried, yeah, 1981. Big City, 1981. Taste for Yesterday Wine was, was just John, 1982. Going Where the Lonely Go, 1982. Okay, this is a long list. Went Home for Christmas, 1982. Pancho Lefty with Willie Nelson, 1983. Heart to Heart with Lorena Williams. That's the way love goes. That's the way the love goes, 1983. It's all the game. It's all in the game. 1984. Coon River, 1985. A Friend in California, 1986. Out Among the Stars, 1986. She hosted Old Mexico with Willie Nelson, 1987. Sheer Factor, 1987. 501 Blue, 1981. Or 1989, yeah. Blue Gungo. Blue Gungo. Gungle. Gungo, yeah. 1990. 1994. 1994. 1996. You guessed it. 1996 again. The Orphan with Albert Mobley Jr. 1999. If I could only fly 2000. 2000. Yeah, I want to fly too. I wish I could fly too. I think everybody would. Cabin in the Hill 2001. Wood Volume 1 2001. Peer Session. The Peer Session 2002. Like Never Before 2003. I wish I was Santa Claus. Santa Claus 2004. Unforgettable 2004. Yeah, 2004. Chicago Wind 2005. Kicking Out the Full Light again with Josh John 2006. Last of the Breed with Willie Nelson Ray Price 2007. The Bluegrass Session 2007. I Am Where I Am 2010. Working Tennessee 2011. DJ Angle. DJ ANGO. Jimmy and Willie Nelson. Okay, with this, I finished a biography of Merle Haggard, great contribution artist, which is I like it a lot too. I remember him a lot. Aisha, my nephew and me, favorite contribution artists. One of them, there are many others too. Uh, but I tell you, Merle Haggard was a great contribution artist. And his life wasn't easy. His life was up and down, you know. Uh, Being jail, alcohol, robbery, and things like that. It wasn't easy for him as a teenager either. But that's life, you know. Okay, let's read over here. Is the background information. I'm done with this autobiography. Merle Haggard, Ronald Haggard, was born on April 6, 1937, uh, Hotel, California. Died April 6, 2016, 79 uh, years old he was. Palo Centro, California. January, country, outlaw, country, Bakersfield Sound. Occupation, singer, songwriter, musician, vocal guitar, fiddle. A year after 1961 to 2016. Label record, Capital MCA, Epic, Club, Anti, Vanguard, and formerly of the band The Strangers. Yeah, The Strangers. Spouses for the woman that he married. Zelena Hub, married 1956 to and divorced to 1964. Bonnie Owner, married 1965, divorced 1978. Zelena Williams, married 1978, divorced 1983. David Parrott, 1985 to 1991. Teresa Ann Lynn, married 1993. Children, 6, including Mary and Noel Haggard. Website, merlehaggard.com. Okay, guys, thank you very much for listening to me. This has been the most longest autobiography that I read in my lifetime. Okay, we'll put it on. And you're going to see for how long it's going to come out, you know. And I did this autobiography little by little, not entirely. I had to stop for a little while, go take a drink, eat something, and continue. You know, it was very tired for me. It was too much. I keep on talking and talking. Take out my voice. I'm a throat very, very hot. So I hope you appreciate that, you know. Anyway, like I always tell you, pray for yourself, pray for your family, pray there's no more wars, pray there's no more pandemic either, or corruption. I thank you very, very much for listening to me once again and see me. I see you in 2 days. God bless you, all of you. Bye bye. God bless you.